what's up, everybody? Gus Gonzalez here with For the People channel. I'm here with my good friend that I've known for a minute, and man, we kind of started talking back. I think in what 19 or 18 or something like that. And so I kind of wanted to bring you on the channel, and I want you to share your testimony of where you have, let's just say, from your childhood to where you're at now, because I know you're doing a lot of good things right now for yourself and for your family. You got a family now. You
Right.
even have your own business. For some people to say that you maybe wouldn't have what you have right now, you've
Mm-hmm.
came a long way. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna bring James back because he's into the controversial
I wouldn't
politics.
say
Let's just
that.
say
I wouldn't say that,
not
brother.
not politics, but we see that we see a lot alike in many ways, and I kind of want to bring you back to that because I
Okay.
think it's going to be very powerful. But go ahead and formally introduce yourself and tell us, kind of start from childhood. Where your parents from, where you're from, what part of town. Like I told people, hey, I'm straight from the south side of Fort Worth, Texas.
Right.
I mean, I live now in a different city, but that's where I came from. But yeah, formally introduce yourself.
Uh, Pretty much the same. You said 18, 19, but I actually know you since the 90s, mid
Yes.
90s, when we were kids. But yes, I'm 48 years old right now.
Wow.
And so I was born 77 in Fort Worth, south side part of town.
Yeah, yeah.
John Peter Smith.
My goodness.
My mother was also born at John Peter Smith, and I think my grandmother was the first of our family to arrive in Fort Worth. She's from Guatemala, so
Wow.
yeah, so they came probably in the 50s,
Wow.
around the 50s. But we have other family members that have been here several generations in Texas. But I'm just talking about my mother's side.
Okay.
So young mother, 16. My mother was 16. My father was 18, and we were living close to Rosemont Middle School.
Yeah.
Yeah, middle school.
Yeah.
And so that's where my grandfather worked at North Texas Steel there on Hemp Hill.
Wow.
Worked there 40 years. Yeah,
My
40
goodness.
years. So I was raised by them. Mother being young,
Yeah.
um, grandparents took me in. My grandfather was a World War II veteran.
Wow.
Always tried to push the military
Yeah.
to us. And as I told you before, my grandfather never spanked me, but very stern, a powerful human being.
Yeah.
I got my heart
Disciplined.
right with him.
Was he very disciplined with you
He
and
was
your?
very disciplined, but he was also very loving. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Very loving, quiet. I mean, he could raise his voice if he had to. My grandmother was just a real fragile mind Indian woman.
Wow.
Spanish. Here's the deal too. With all the things going on in the environment and things. I'm not sure if when my grandmother got her citizenship,
Yeah.
but there was many years there. She didn't have it. And
Yeah.
so it's scary to think about what's going on back then. But she was a big time American citizen, I guess.
Yeah.
Celebrated the Fourth of July
Yeah.
and all these American holidays.
Yeah.
Into the soldiers and the war, military, for my grandfather, and she raised us good people. And then I guess my mother got remarried later on. My toddler years, and so she was able to get on her feet, and we moved to Centro.
Mm.
Yeah, well, they call it near South Side now,
Yeah. Is
but
it is it past Barry? Is where you're talking about? Because you got Barry between Barry and 20, and then Barry, like by past school and all that stuff back that way,
let
like
me
8th
see.
Street or any.
No, we lived where all those little nice houses are now in
Okay.
Austin in college. I went to Daggett Elementary
Okay.
for 2 years till I was in fourth grade. Ended up moving back to South Side with my grandparents and went to South Fort Worth.
Okay.
But I think it's called Wilson Elementary now.
Okay.
He was actually the principal, so he was alive when I was attending there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did 2 years in the central part of the neighborhood and grew up with a little bit with them. Played baseball, so I was familiar with them. And this is kind of you need to know this because later on, what happens in my life,
Yeah.
some of these individuals come back around and they play a big part.
Wow.
So my childhood, I mean, it was good. My mother, she tried to give us everything that we wanted. I mean, we were pretty much some of the first kids in the poor neighborhood getting Nintendos, things of that nature. But I lived in a violent household.
Okay.
My stepfather, violent, he was just a sick individual.
Yeah.
Just a sick individual. I mean, he knew that we didn't love him and he didn't love us, pretty
Yeah.
much. I pretty much witnessed him try to kill his own child, my younger
Wow.
brother. And the kid was a newborn.
Wow.
We had to protect him and everything. And heavy drinker,
Yeah.
alcoholic. I don't remember seeing drugs in my home. Alcohol was the problem, and
Okay.
drugs were on my father's side. And I don't really have too much to say about my father.
Yeah.
He was never around.
Yeah.
A Caucasian man.
Okay.
So I identify as Hispanic, but I don't shun the Caucasian part of me. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know him that good, and the little times he did come around, I knew he was a drug addict, hardcore drug addict. So, but in my mother's home, it was alcohol was pretty much the
The main.
downfall. Yeah.
Let me ask you something, James. Do you talk to your dad now, or do you see him now, or do you?
This is kind of hard to explain, but I found out some things
Okay.
about him later that involved, some pretty
Some.
horrible things to me and to my brothers, my younger brother, my half brother that I'm talking about. But I forgive him,
Yeah.
So I see him, I speak, but I'm gonna say I don't go out of my way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what should I do if I'm wrong in that situation, but I just don't.
Yeah.
But we do have to cross paths. I got a half brother, different mother, same father. He's always trying to get close to me.
Mm,
So he lives where my father lives. They live in Oklahoma.
okay.
So I have to speak with him. I went to his wedding, and my father was there.
I get you.
My kids don't know him. They're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
who's that?" And I'm like, "Well, that's my dad," and they just don't believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I talk with him. He's still a drunk. He's still a druggie, and you know, I'm pretty sure he knows. Abandoning me wasn't a good thing, and
Yeah.
we're never gonna have that father-son relationship. But I have forgiven him for all the bad things he did for peace for myself,
Yeah.
not for him.
Yeah. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So going on, you were raised in a household that was violent, right? Your stepfather. So your mom and dad. They have you. They have your younger brother, which I know. Well,
Hmm.
I was in the same grade with him. We were had
Correct.
a lot of classes together, and then your dad's not in the picture. Your stepdad's in. So take us kind of a little bit about how that was in your household. Like you seen a lot of violence. There was a lot of abuse, probably physical and verbal abuse.
Well, yeah, well, we talked about this before, and I've shared this on another podcast. But my mother was eventually he stabbed her
Oh wow.
pretty much almost to death. Actually, we were living in the projects. The Butler housing over there
Yeah.
behind the. I mean, we were the only Hispanic family up in there. So here's the thing. You're taught to fear. We're living in a predominantly black neighborhood.
Yeah.
Pretty much, there was nobody else there. Other race.
Yeah.
We're supposed to fear them and everything, but lo and behold, violence comes from within our own household. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Super Bowl Sunday, we went to bed early, and like I said, when I woke up, the ambulance, fire trucks in my house, and come down, blood everywhere. And
Wow.
my mother had to crawl from the front porch to the payphone. Late '80s. Yeah,
Wow.
there's no home phone. We couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what was going on with the judicial system back then, but he didn't spend a lot of time in jail. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, he didn't spend too much time in jail. He was out, and then he was back in my house in 6 months at the same projects.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he stabbed your mom and the cops. Who called the cops?
One of the neighbors there.
Okay. But they probably heard the screams, the fighting, all that other stuff. Where were y'all at when all this was going?
Sleep.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
upstairs asleep. They had the downstairs and
Yeah.
upstairs, and as I said before, we were taught to fear the black man. Because we're a different race, they might try to harm us, but he was a person who actually saved my mother. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Call, drag her down, call the police, and yeah, one of the neighbors there. Yeah, so
Wow.
he came back into our life, and same thing. It was hard on my mother.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I don't want to put her down in any type of
Yeah.
way or question. What? Now that I'm older, but I guess we were poverty. We were in poverty, so
Yeah.
she needed all she could.
Yeah.
She had 3 boys now, and violence continued. Later on, we ended up getting one like those Section 8 houses or whatever.
Mhm.
I lived on Section 8. I lived on food stamps. You know what I mean? Uh, so I don't criticize that in any kind of way. I
Yeah.
mean, it helped my mother for the time being.
Yeah.
And so I guess they drifted away, right? And she was dating other men, and my stepfather ended up killing another man on my front porch. I was probably about 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Wake up, I started becoming numb to this violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing, I want to go back. One time, my mother was beaten so bad, and I came home, but I guess I was so tired from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I just left the house. So we had free reign to walk the streets at that time. You know what I mean? A
Okay.
lot, go out with other kids in our neighborhood who didn't have parental controls either, didn't have guidelines at home.
Yeah.
There was a few of us out there that were
Yeah.
able to run those streets till 3 o'clock in the morning as a young teen or maybe even a preteen.
How? So you're talking about preteen, because so when were you at this time at Rosemont, or were you at? Did you finish middle school or?
Yeah, so I mean, it's no secret that I tell everybody I feel like I'm an educated individual. But every since I was little, bro, I had a lot of opportunities. I was really good at school. So when I finished my 5th grade at South Fort Worth, I got invited to William James, the magnet school.
Okay.
So I did 1 year there. I took the bus from the projects to the William James over there by Poly on the east side of town.
Yeah.
I didn't last 1 year, bro. And it wasn't for my grades or nothing. Just
Fighting.
yeah, little knickknacks doing here and there.
Yeah.
And I got kicked out, and I had to go back to my home school, which was Rosemont. And I had all the
Oh, Rosemont.
neighborhood buddies, and you just
Yeah.
you lose sight of your goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, good old Rosemont Park. Meet me over there across the street. You know what
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what time it
Uh
is.
huh.
So check this out. We were at McLean, right? So it was, and you probably know where it's at, because I think where Dusty
Yeah, my
went.
brother went to
So me,
McLean.
me and Dusty had a lot of classes together, and just like you're saying about Rosemont Park, meet me at across the street at the park. We would tell people meet me at the apartments. Those were across the street
Yeah.
from McLean,
Yeah.
and that's where all the fighting went.
Most
And that's
definitely.
that's the same thing how we were doing it over there at McLean. Like, all right, meet me at the apartments. We already knew what time it was when
Right.
that happened. So and that's crazy. So going into that, you're already getting into your preteens, and what
Hmm.
do you start getting into at at that point?
Uh, at that time, just I guess just run streets. I was already chasing girls about that age. I
Yeah,
I like dressing up. At that time, a lot of people said that I dressed real nice,
yeah,
and your family, I would. I mean, I hate to say this, but I used to get people to steal clothes for me. Expensive clothes that my mother couldn't afford,
yeah.
but I had them. I had them, and colognes were coming out. And this was in middle school. I was already thinking about girls, and
Wow.
it's kind of strange because my kids are in high school, and I don't know. They might have girlfriends behind my back, but they,
Yeah,
they don't speak on it like I used to. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I remember when me and you worked together. I was working for you at one time, helping you out. You were telling me my kids don't know nothing that I've done,
Yeah.
and you know what? It's crazy because and I've told you this. I'm kind of the opposite. I tell Mike, and every teach their own, right?
Hmm.
Everybody's household is different. Um, I've told my kids, like, guys, this is what cocaine looks like. This is what marijuana looks like. This is what alcohol will do to you. This is if you have sex before you're married, or it all depends. It doesn't matter. Like, you can catch an STD, and I would show
Right.
them, like, this is what this looks like.
Hmm.
And so I'm just remembering those times where you're like, man, my kids don't know, and you're saying that right now. They might
Hmm.
they might have a girlfriend, they might not tell you.
Hmm.
But like I said, every household is different the way
Right.
you instruct. And so going from school, you had people stealing clothes. I actually had people stealing clothes for me too, which
Hmm.
is crazy. We wanted all the polos. We
Yeah.
wanted all the Tommy Hilfigers. We wanted all the nice colognes and all that other stuff. So what gets you So you have this bad childhood, right? Similar to mine,
Mm-hmm.
bro. I was in an abusive household when I was little. I see my dad and my mom go at it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've seen my mom throw, and I shared on another uh, story that how that's what triggered me to become who I was.
Right.
There was a lot of anger in me, bro, and now that I know, I'm just like all I wanted was love,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so that drove me to become angry and more angry and more angry and more angry. Did that kind of do that for you, or was it different for you?
Um, I guess those came a little bit later when I was 14, maybe my first year in high school. A couple things happened during that school year. First, my grandfather passed away,
Okay,
and then my mother also got remarried. And she started changing her lifestyle and going to
okay,
church and everything. But we got kidnapped. You know, me and my brother got kidnapped about that age too.
wow,
Back then, I don't allow my kid to drive now until I see that little license or whatever. But
yeah,
moms were throwing you keys back then, like, hey,
yeah,
go take them, go do this. I ain't got time to take you. You know what I mean? You go do it yourself.
yeah,
And I jump in that car. I had a car at 14, and then I had another car at 16. You know what I mean?
wow,
So I drive, and so that time, yeah, we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, man, and I wasn't aware to my surroundings. I still wasn't in hood mentality yet. I
okay,
was a bad actor, but I wasn't like hood mentality. I wasn't packing that kind of kid or anything,
yeah,
and I was just up to no good. And yeah, we guy jacked us. He put that gun in my back, man, before I could even turn that key. And another one of his friends came running over there, and my brother told me too. He said, "Look behind." It was just too late, man. And
wow,
yeah, he put us in the trunk, showcased us, and two things went through my mind. I was in fear, of
yeah,
course. I'm fixing to die,
yeah,
but also anger. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
think those were the first times of vendetta, bro.
wow,
You better not let me get out this situation. Like I had two feelings in at the same time in that trunk when we were rolling around. My brother was just sobbing, and I was praying to a God that I wasn't really introduced to yet. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, hey, help me, Lord. And then another part of me, I'm gonna get these guys, man. I'm gonna get these guys. And I don't know where that came from, but I
what?
guess from my stepfather, the violence.
Yeah, yeah. What
Yeah.
part of town was this when this happened?
T Mart, bro. T Mart Seminary.
Oh yeah, yeah,
hmm
really?
But we got abandoned over there behind the
You said Echo Lake one time, right?
Prince Hall Apartments.
Okay.
Like there's a little lake over there where they dumped us in. So they jumped out and tried to put the car in the water, and put a brick on the try to sink us,
Are you
man. Yeah, but it
serious?
got stuck in the mud, and then we waited for a little while, and then he popped it, and he was gonna blast us. You know what I mean? And I guess they played the good cop, bad cop. Hey, my buddy wants to kill you, and I
Yeah.
don't, so you better just go. And stripped us our clothes, degraded us, and we
Wow.
walked to those Prince Hall apartments, just totally nude. But again, man, the families, couple kids were laughing. Hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, yeah.
But some adults came out there and took care of us. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I guess also my little run in about the police came about that time. They didn't take our story serious, man. They didn't investigate it or anything. They told my mother that I gave the car away because I was late for curfew, that I was running the
Mm.
street all night, and that wasn't the case. And 3 weeks later, they brought us down there to look at suspects, but I was past that then. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't need you.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I was thinking.
Wow.
So I had this Sega Genesis and this little Game Gear. Back then, those were the popular things. I
Uh,
sold them both, and you know how easy it was to get a gun in the
yeah.
neighborhood back then. 14, I'll put the word out there. Hey, you want to buy a pistol? And it was crazy how easy it was. Hey, come over here. Went upstairs. Actually, it was the opposition, man. There was a group called the Thugs. You know the Thugs,
Yeah, I
right?
know the thugs.
Well, I knew them too. I went to school with them too. They're from our same neighborhood,
Yeah.
and I wasn't really gang banging at that time. I was just another guy in the neighborhood. Yeah, what you want? I'll take that Beretta. Hey, man, give me the money.
Wow.
And yeah, I went looking for those guys, man. I thought that was gonna bring me peace.
Yeah.
I never found them.
Wow.
And it wouldn't have brought me peace, but
Yeah.
that's the way I thought at the time.
So you were literally searching for them to take revenge on them, and what you do? Give up, or you just say, you know what?
No, I gave up on that, but just the feeling I got with that pistol when I walked the street. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Unstoppable,
yeah.
unstoppable. You know what I mean? You don't a child and a gun don't mix,
No.
and that feeling I got, and so now I'm doing a little bit more things that I shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
and getting away with a little bit more, breaking some laws here and there, stuff like that.
So did you at this time you were like what 14, 15 years
Yeah,
old?
about 14.
When did you get so I gotta ask this because you're the only person that has come on this podcast or this YouTube. You got initiated.
Uh,
Same gang I did.
okay.
Well, who initiated you?
Uh, well, I used to hang out a lot with Caleb, who was a
Yeah.
little guy,
Yeah.
little white guy in the neighborhood, and his brother Kobe. But I hung out with the younger brother, and he was younger than me, and his mom was real cool. They were big drug addicts. Gave the neighborhood raza,
Yeah, all the
all the drugs, all the
yeah.
dope. Let you stay there, whatever. So I pulled up at their house one time, and Kobe and Caveman and a bunch of
Yeah.
guys were there. And there was like three of us. It was me, a friend of ours, Papa,
Yeah, I know Papa
and
Renee.
someone else. And then they go, "Y'all want to get initiated?" We're from the hood anyway.
Yeah.
And they left me there, man. They go,
They took
So,
off.
so I had to. I wasn't gonna say no, man. I
Yeah.
said, man, I'm not gonna go out like that. I said, what's up?
Wow.
Yeah, I got beat down.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you this goes on in your life, and then with the childhood, right? The
Mm-hmm.
abusive um household, then you get pretty much robbed or stripped naked, left for almost dead,
Right.
and then you go buy a gun because you're gonna be like, all right, I want to retaliate, like, and then you start getting involved in gangs and selling
Mm-hmm.
drugs, or what happens after that?
Yeah, I wasn't really one of those guys that would stand on the corner and hustle. I didn't
Okay.
like doing that. I had a friend, Abraham.
Yeah,
Abraham Green
Abraham.
Eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, don't drink, don't smoke, but
yeah,
crazy guy,
yeah, and
man.
it can fight, bro.
So yeah, and so he was my buddy, man. I gave him all my dope, and he would sell it for me, and he wouldn't ask for much at the end. Hey, give me a little cut, and I'll give him a little something. So I wasn't that kind of guy, and I guess I would make money, however. And I
Yeah.
wasn't into selling drugs. I was more into jacking. I would
Mm,
say I'll make you do all that work and stack all that money. Then I'm just gonna come take it.
okay,
Like, I thought that was easier. I thought you had more, and I would start looking out.
I get
So
you.
about 14, my mother started going to church and everything with her
Yeah,
new father, and I come home with now beat up, and she knew like, hey man, you running with gangs and all that. Well, you gonna have to start being home at a certain amount of time. Midnight curfew and
yeah,
weekends. There's no can do. That's not gonna work for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
And so
So you started to rebel now.
yeah, I started. Well, I always rebelled,
Yeah.
but it was okay. My mom was doing bad
Okay.
stuff too, but now she's
Yeah.
correcting course and trying to steer us right.
Yeah.
And I can't do a 180 like that. I'm too traumatized. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That's why I got this shirt on.
Oh,
It
okay, yeah, 180. Hey, there you go. It fits.
says.
And then so I get kicked out.
Yeah.
Living off the streets and everything. Jumping people's house. I lived with Papa for a while. I lived
Yeah.
with another guy for a while. Whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still went to school. So not to bring any heat on my mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then my grandmother was having a hard time. It was already probably about a year or two that my grandfather passed, and I was already a sophomore by then. And
Oh wow.
my mother said, "Go move in with my grandma." And we stayed everywhere. I mean, I've stayed all over the place. I stayed everywhere in
Friends'
Southside.
houses, at the mom's house, at grandma's house,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah. Later on, yeah.
So hold on. What school were you going to in this time?
Okay, so this is the school issues. I went to six. I went to middle level.
Okay.
Came back. Went to Rosemont 7th, 8th, and Rosemont. I got kicked out. They got me with a gun.
Oh my goodness.
Man, 8th grade, and this was before the jacking part, but it was my stepfather's gun.
Oh wow.
I was just taking it to show off, to be cool. I wasn't gonna hurt nobody. I wasn't into violence, at that time.
Yeah.
Just look at me.
Yeah.
So I had to go to that middle level learning center.
Yeah.
I got out of there. My first high school was Trimble Tech.
Okay.
Man, I didn't last 3 weeks at Tech, bro. I didn't like it. Then I moved to Richland High School.
Okay.
I didn't stay 3 weeks at Richland, bro.
My goodness.
Then I went to Pascal,
Okay.
back to homeschool, and then at Pascal, it was during the year when Silver got shot out in the
Yeah.
front, and the little gang wars were starting to pop off.
Yeah.
I think I missed a total of 120 days,
Wow.
and my mother didn't know I was getting the mail or whatever because they couldn't call me back then. It was hard to
Yeah.
call. There was
Yeah.
just some little home phones, landlines, and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I had my little sneaky ways, bro. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I got kicked out, and I had to go to a truancy judge. And the only school that would take me at the time, they go, "You're gonna go to Southwest, bro."
Oh man.
And I said, "Well, I'm going over there to the rich side of town." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to the
Yeah.
rich side of town. And I said, "Man, I'm not gonna make it. I need to be around the hood or whatever." And first day there, bro. First day there, they jumped me.
Oh my
They jumped me
goodness.
around the in my lockers, man.
Wow.
And I said, "What? What? Who are these people?" You know what I mean? I'm not familiar.
Did
I
you
don't.
you didn't know them as
I didn't even know they existed, bro.
Southwest Land Kings, right? That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was.
They had some problems with us before,
Yeah.
but I didn't know them. I never went on that side of town. You know what I'm saying? I went to
Wow.
the. I always thought that was like a little upper class or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Because it was actually back then in the
Hmm.
90s, whatever, early 2000s, or maybe like the late 90s, it was uppity.
Hmm.
You go over there now, it's not as uppity as it used to be.
Right, right.
So, whenever my mom and dad, side story, whenever my mom and dad first got married, they used to live over there in Southwest, and then we moved to the hood
Hmm.
whenever my mom and dad got divorced because my mom could not afford staying in that house over there.
Right.
So it was an uppity
Hmm.
area, right?
Hmm.
Wedgewood Middle School,
Right, right.
Southwest High School, all that. So now that I see it in that area, I'm just like, man, it's not what it used to be,
Right,
you know.
right, right.
So you get jumped the first day of
Very first day, not even before class started. So
God.
I still went to first period because I knew they were serious. They told me that you're not gonna make it or whatever. We're just gonna get you out of school, or we might send you these boot camps. I don't know what the deal was,
Yeah,
but I knew I needed to course correct a little bit. I still had a little bit of goals somewhere deep inside. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
wanted to be something.
yeah.
And then I met my good friend Vincent the very first day. This is the first time I ever met him. He was standing at the door with his long ponytail. He looked like Chris Pettis from Selena's husband. And he goes, "You're from Southside?" He told me like that. And then I thought, "Oh man, here comes another one." And then I go, "What's up, man?" And then he goes, "Nah, man, I hate those guys." So the very first class, he goes, "Come on, I'm gonna get you a ride back." And then he got me a ride back to the South, so I can go come get some backup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ever since then, we've been good friends. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you end up getting kicked out of Southwest fully or?
No, no. So I had to go back. I had to endure that, and then I don't really remember what happened, but they weren't as deep over the course of the school year. I guess a couple of them would drop out here. They weren't many as deep, man. And
Yeah.
man, some of these guys I just didn't fear, man.
Yeah.
They just didn't have it to me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't even be gang banging, brother. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
never lived the life I live, and
Yeah.
so I
Exactly.
like, man, I can take over this school, man. That's what I felt, man.
Wow.
That's what I felt, and then my second year there, I mean. It was a good year for me. I mean, from
Really?
a worldly standpoint. I mean,
Wow.
with their girls and all that. So yeah.
Wow.
So
Man, I always think to myself, and I don't. Maybe this is just me, right? I'm like, man, we were cut from a different cloth. The way we used to do things from our part of the hood, right?
hmm
Because if we were like already, I was telling people the other day on another story, like, man, I was already selling drugs at 13 years old. Like,
hmm
I already had seen violence, and I know like on the other side of town, I'm like they couldn't compare to what we used to do. But that was just my way of thinking, right? And sometimes I even still think that, but I'm like, no, because all men are different, right? And so anybody can, if you push them hard enough, you never know what might happen, right?
right.
And so, um, what leads us to, okay, so you're at Southwest, and I
hmm
think you got a gun pulled out on you or something, right? Or you
Oh,
got
that's yeah. That was pretty much all the time. But yeah,
okay,
they would pull guns and or jump me or whatever. But I wasn't really fighting with them when I would come back to the hood.
Yeah.
uh, our guys would only like to fight, or because we're young, you know what I mean. Not all
Yeah.
of us have a vehicle. We just like to fight with the neighbor as the closest gang to us. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
We didn't want to fight north side or nothing, and then
Yeah.
you'd have to have a car to go over there. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I did. I can go wherever. I fought everybody, bro. I
Yeah.
fought west side,
Yeah.
east side. I put a name,
Yeah.
to me, I really took it too serious,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
thought this is what you're supposed to do, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, as a man, you're like, I'm a
Yeah.
man now. And that's why I was telling people, I'm like, I would die for my homeboys back.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I bled, bro, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
I breathe. And I just I think because nobody like we know of each other because of what we did in the past, right? But whenever like for instance, like when I talk to people, I'm like, man, I thank God that I'm not dead, man, because I know the kind of stuff that I used to do, and I'm not proud of it. I'm proud that God pulled me out of them
Right.
situations, right? And so, what leads you on to the next thing in life?
Well, good things were still happening for me. I got me like entered into this TCU program when I would get college in the summer
Wow,
and live on their campus. So my grandmother bought she rented an apartment across the street, and so and then I would have a little job as well.
wow,
And so I would go to school. I'll still go to school, but I would run them streets very, very late at night. I probably didn't sleep too much. You know what I mean?
wow.
I'd sell weed to all the college kids, man. They would knock on my door, and my grandmother, hey, te está buscando un estudiante, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? And I'll come and serve them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then they'll buy me beer because I was underage. They were in those.
wow,
They'd come buy weed off me or whatever, but you know, I got into some really, really bad things. I started robbing a little bit more for cash and all that, and I got arrested in '94. I got arrested, or maybe '95, early,
somewhere around there.
somewhere around then. And two of the guys that went with me, yeah, they gave me up, brother. You know what I mean? I jumped out that car and I said, "Let's go," and they just gave up. You know what I mean?
Wow,
And from our
our
hood,
own
yeah,
hood.
our own hood, yeah. And next thing I know, they kicked down my door the next day, and I was like, "Man, they gave me up, bro." So
Wow,
I guess that was my first introduction to this. This ain't loyal, bro.
yeah,
So I kind of knew that this ain't loyal. But at the same time, when that detective kicked down my door, I was cutting up, like an 8 ball and all kinds of making some little sacks
yeah,
and to sell to make money. And
yeah,
the detective didn't even care about that. He just grabbed me, and Vincent was there with me, and he got it all. And when they got me out on bond, he came back and brought me all my stuff. So I said, "Oh man, that's a good dude," because he could have ran
yeah,
off with my dope and used it.
yeah,
And okay, man, so there is loyal. There's just these guys that weren't
yeah,
loyal.
yeah,
But they got me out on bond, and I had a lawyer. It was hard, bro. Like I had to really get a job. My little check was going to pay for my lawyer. My mother couldn't pay for it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You better get your butt out. And they told me, if you work this program, you're gonna pay me all this amount of money, but I can get this deferred adjudicated is
yeah,
what they call it.
yeah, yeah,
And then I said, or not, you're facing 2 to 20,
yeah.
because I was putting that gun in people's face. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, taking their stuff. And I said, man, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change. Man, I didn't change, bro. I just went right back to the same. I was caught up bad.
Yeah.
I didn't really do like a plethora of drugs, but I did cocaine and I
Yeah.
did weed and alcohol. You know what I
You
mean?
had your fair share, but you weren't really on it.
Yeah, I
Like,
never. I don't even know what meth looks like, bro. I don't even know what it looks like. And
wow.
what else? I've never taken
Heroin or
heroin, none of that stuff, man.
wow.
Now, as much as I've been on the street, don't even know what it looks like. I wouldn't care. And when the guys would do it around me, because we had some homeboys that would smoke
Yeah.
crack,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't
Even mess
mingle
with
with
it.
them. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mingle with them. But well, my old rivals from the school, they caught me one time, caught me slipping. But my fault. I went to their side of town,
Hmm.
clean out some glass that occurred from a hurricane during the mid '95 when that Mayfest got hit real hard and all the
Okay.
cars got hit with hail, and it was not a hurricane, a tornado. What I'm talking about? We're not even close to water.
Well, the
It was a big storm,
yeah.
and during the Mayfest, and so the girl I was dating at the time, her windows were shattered. We went to go vacuum it out, and they caught me slipping with my grandmother, and kind of embarrassed me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Busting us upside the head with those King Cobra bottles and all that.
Wow.
My grandma is not. I didn't take that to heart, and I just retaliated, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So got weapons because I was start stockpiling some weapons at that time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never really shot anybody yet. You know what I mean? Or I don't know if I
Yeah.
have, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, man, I just decided to retaliate, and it was. Some days I have my days, I'm not proud of it, and but other days, well, Lord, I'm forgiven,
Yeah.
and I look at it like that. I tell people I don't even remember prison, to be honest with you, bro. So,
So let's go down this route real quick.
hmm
You those guys embarrassed you. Um they made you kind of look like, hey, I'm not gonna allow this to happen.
hmm
And what you do is you end up going uh and committing murder,
hmm
right? You shot the guy, you killed him. Um, you will go to prison.
hmm
You end up doing. Hold on, did they give you Didn't they give you like 25 or something like
50.
50 years? Okay. They ought. Did you have Sharon Wilson?
I had Sharon Wilson.
Okay, because that's a big name in the
Yeah,
in the Tarrant County.
yeah, I had Sharon Wilson, bro,
Okay, so
and I was afraid.
yeah, yeah. So check this out, because Rudy Perales, I was talking to him the other day, and they gave him the death penalty.
Mm,
But when he committed his murder, he was 16. So they went back and they like he was not an adult yet.
yeah.
So they tried him as a kid, and so they went back and they reduced the time. Right.
hmm
He ended up doing 20 years or something like that. But you end up doing this. You go to prison. You're trying to find all these religions, right, in prison.
hmm Oh, that's later on down the
Okay,
line.
go ahead. So go ahead.
That's way later down the line. Okay, going to jail right off the bat. Of course, first thing my mother gives me is a Bible. And I need to read the Bible. I knew my life was over with, bro. They scared me. They brought me down there to DA saying, I'm gonna hang you. Sign right here for 50 or we're going to
Wow.
trial. I said, I'm not signing.
Yeah.
I'm not signing. I'm not signing. They go, all right, we'll see you in trial. And she goes, I'm gonna get you life, bro. And I said, oh man, because it wasn't just the actual murder. It was like
Oh, it's
8,
powerful.
10, 18 people getting shot total, bro. So yeah, I have a
Wow.
lot of aggravated assaults on top of that, plus all kinds of additional charges.
Yeah.
So I'm in the old jail, two side, and everybody in there is facing life or death. There's a bunch of high profile
People in there.
people at the time that would come out on the news, and I'm like, man, this guy doesn't seem like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not the same thing. Got this guy, the Coslow murderer that killed the whole family on Thanksgiving. He's in my tank. He was scary,
My
very.
goodness.
Yeah, I had some big heavy hitters. So I stayed in that tank for a while, mingling. I was afraid, but I accepted my life. It's
Yeah.
over. It's time to do push-ups, bro. You know what I mean? It's time to go get it. Well, everybody that would go to trial, we would, cheer him on. You got this. You got this. Fight it. Fight it. We're all in this
Yeah.
together, man. On the day of trial would end, every single one of those guys would come back with their head down. What happened?
Dang.
Got a life sentence. I got an ag life, or I got the death penalty. One guy got the death penalty. They took him out of there already by himself.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, man, everyone's getting, my heart was beating hard, man.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I didn't read the Bible yet. I started reading a little bit, like, God help me. Oh my goodness, bro.
Yeah.
I can't fade this. Help me out here.
Yeah.
And when that didn't happen, and I realized my fate that I'm going to prison, as a 17-year-old kid, I abandoned the Lord, bro. So,
Mm.
like, you didn't help me, but that wasn't His place to help me at that point. I got
Mm.
myself into it. There's still consequences
That you
in
gotta
this
pay.
lifetime. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter you walk with the Lord or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have to face those consequences. And so I went down, caught the chain, go down there, and I wasn't afraid at all, man. But it's because I already knew what kind of person I was. I didn't dip my head in people's business.
Yeah.
I kept my mouth shut. I watched. I was always watching what's going on, who's running the tank, who's doing this, who's doing that.
Yeah.
And I guess I watched too many movies how to manipulate. I read a lot of psychology books too, man.
Yeah. So check this out. How many years did they give you?
So I went back in 1996 on February the 29th, leap year day or whatever,
Yeah.
and I plea bargained for 10. Yeah,
Really?
10.
Wow.
I had a lawyer, and I'm not gonna say his name,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I guess he was in bed with the D. They were pretty cool because when I got there, she wasn't as mean
Uh,
anymore. They pulled me out, bro, at 6 o'clock in the evening, underground tunnel. Sharon Wilson didn't even have her robe on. And you're guilty of this. Are you going to sign for this? Yes, ma'am. You're going to replead this? Yes, ma'am. Did you do it? Yes, ma'am. Signed it right there. And
wow.
the DA shook my hand. That lady, hey, good luck, young man. You got another chance. And I got my conviction. That's what she told me. She goes, I got my conviction and you get another chance. I said, yes, ma'am. And I went back. Yeah.
Wow.
So I went back and I was like, well, man, I've already been in the county almost 2 years. It's okay. I got 3 more before I see parole.
Yeah.
I'll be a young man, bro.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And then it was just prison life, bro, after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Getting into gangs, trying to get into trouble,
Hmm.
not realizing, you know what, I'm just gonna, because I know you said that um, you abandoned God, right? Or you
Hmm.
felt like He abandoned you too, right? You were
Hmm.
like, you know what, there is no God, there is no um, help. But what ended up changing you while you were in prison?
Okay, well, we'll have to skip a lot of the
Yeah,
prison part of it then. I mean, it was tough. I mean, I did a lot of things in there too that I'm not proud of.
yeah.
That I've asked for forgiveness for. That pretty much had to. I got caught up in the prison gang system, all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
You
And
know what we can do? Sorry to interrupt, but we can probably do like a spin off when you come back, and we can talk in detail of what you went through. Because I would like to have you back, bro.
sure, sure.
Like, and so kind of go through the situation of where you got led to
Sure.
Christ and stuff like
Okay,
that.
so I'm gonna say after I think I had about 8 months left to come home, doing the whole 10 because they just denied. I didn't even see parole.
Mm,
They just set me off through the mail. You know what I mean? I knew it too. The guys were telling me, "Don't. You're not even gonna get parole, bro. Just forget about it." So I forget about it.
yeah,
So about 8 months, I was in close custody in Beto unit,
yeah,
and for having free world money and free world liquor, I had a little connection towards the end. I didn't have it all the time,
yeah.
and someone ratted me out and put me down there. So I'm in a one man cell, not well, actually a 2 man cell, but I'm by myself at the time. No, no day room, no outside, no nothing. Just thinking. But prior to that, I had already got educated. I got 2 college degrees in there.
Praise
I,
God.
I was running the homeboys, wherever I went, speaker. If I was on this unit, I would become the speaker. If I went to this unit, I'd become the speaker.
Yeah,
But they chose me. I didn't choose that. I didn't want
yeah,
that position, but I would accept it because I feel like I was the man for the job.
yeah,
But I knew, I said, man, I live like an animal here. Something deep in my soul. I said, I'm living like an animal, bro. I'm not going to be able to go out and make it. I see people in my time, just my little short 10 years in there. I see guys come in 2 or 3 times, bro, from prison, go to
mm,
free world and come back. So I started, doing some spirituality searching, bro, because I was working out. I was feeling good. I knew I was educated. My mind was right.
yeah,
But I was lacking something, I guess, spirituality wise and mind, body, but my soul was missing. You know what I
mm,
mean? And I started reading a little bit of Bible, but I would also talk to Muslims and what do y'all believe in? Cause I was curious,
yeah,
and then I practiced shamanism,
yeah,
because I'm Indian, and I thought that's what I'm gonna practice what I'm supposed to practice, cause every race in there stands by their heritage and
yeah,
Muslim. I'm Muslim, the black people. I'm Muslim, and this.
yeah,
So I figured, hey, well, I'm Mayan. I'm shamanism. I didn't really find any peace in that, bro. And then I got out of medium custody. My last 6 months went to finally made it back to population.
mm-hmm,
And then the book that Dan Brown, the Da Vinci Code came out, and they were
mm,
passing it around. And I got next, and they shoot you the kite down the run.
yeah,
Give me that book, and then because I read a lot of books, and man, I felt like I wasn't in a Christian yet, but I like, man, this is blasphemy, bro, because he was saying that Jesus was married with kids, and I like this is. So I went to the Bible to
Yeah.
to kind of
Get your own information
yeah, get
from
my
it.
own information from it, and kind of compare it, you know. But whatever you do, you better be careful what you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that Bible just started talking to me little by little, and so I put in for the Kairos to join Kairos,
Yeah.
and they only let so many join, right? And I guess it was just my time, my calling, and they selected me. I don't know how they selected me, and I didn't go for the church, bro. I went for the food. You know what I mean? And it was just a. Something just happened there, bro. Just yeah,
Yeah.
man. My life flashed before me, and God saved me, bro. So
Amen.
yeah, I can't explain it, but I guess He says I need to use you. You belong to me,
Mm.
and you come here first, and first you got to break them down. You got to break
Yes.
them down. Broke me down. You
Wow.
know all that sugar coating your salvation. That I don't believe in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
First, you got to make me see my sin. I got to know that I'm sinning.
Yes. Yes.
If I don't know I'm sinning, how am
Yes.
I gonna? How can I hear? You know,
Yes.
call me. How can I hear your voice if I don't
Yeah.
know you?
Exactly.
But they also shower you with love, bro.
Yes.
Bad. I mean, I didn't have love, and man, it just. Uh, I knew that doesn't matter. Something told me there in that cell, otherworldly, something spiritual. I don't know. It told me it doesn't matter what kind of education you got. If you don't have me when you leave this place, you're not gonna make it.
Mm.
Man, bro, I was still rebelling though, man. I was still fighting with it. And my friend, he told me first. He said, "Hey, I'm leaving, bro. I'm leaving the game." And I said, "What?" After we finished that Kairos, when I made it back to the day room, all his tango or whatever friends or came
Yeah.
to me, "Hey, we're gonna smash that boy. He's out." And I said, "Damn, man." And I'll pray, please, Lord. You
You're
know,
not allowed to.
he's not doing it to run game on the he's the
You're
Lord. Yeah,
sincere
yeah, he's
about it.
sincere.
Yeah, genuine about
And
it.
then he was playing with me, and he goes, "What about you?" And I just told him right there. I said, "You know what? Me too, man. Me too."
Wow.
And then he just backed up, man. He just backed up and left me be,
Wow. They let
man.
you walk.
And yeah. And then I just went to church for my last 4 months and read that Bible from sun up to sundown,
Man.
and hung out with people that I would never hang out with in my life. I mean, as far as the racial thing going
Yeah.
on there,
Yeah.
I had to make new friends, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, wow, you guys were never the enemy anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
the Satan
Yeah.
putting this up to me.
And so I love the way you say that you gotta know your sin because I'm like you, bro. I don't like the sugar coating or the tickling of the ears was what they
Hmm.
call it, right? I can't do that. I never, and the reason why is because I, I don't know. I mean, game recognizes game, spirit recognizes spirit. I know when you're telling me something that doesn't make sense, and whenever I look at it like that, especially, and I said it in my last story, is like I'm gonna beat up on pastors, bro,
Hmm.
because the ones that are not for real, the ones that are just trying to make a dollar, the ones who are telling you or self-proclaim, I'm an apostle and I'm a
Right.
pro man, or I'm a bishop of the third heaven, and bro, and I'm like, come on, man, like, do you not? There was this one time, and I'm be very quick. Is this one
Hmm.
time this guy told me he was like, do you not know that you can be this, and I said, I already know who I am. I mean, I know my identity in
Hmm.
Christ. Like, I know who I am. I said, but I also know that I'm not perfect. The only one that was perfect was Christ,
Right.
Jesus, right? And so I look at that stuff and I'm like, I don't like when people, and I'm gonna say people because people they use the restroom like we do, bro. They take a bath like we do. They put on socks just like the way we do, right?
Hmm.
But you have to recognize what you come from and what God can pull you out of. And I do believe in the love, right? I believe in love and truth. There
Hmm.
has to be some truth behind that love.
Hmm.
I think the difference is it has to be the way the delivery is done,
Hmm.
right? Like, I'm not gonna yell and tell my son that God loves him, but be mean about it, right?
Hmm.
Or God wants you to go to hell. I'm not gonna bring condemnation on you, but I'm gonna tell you, just like you said, there are consequences and repercussions for the things that you do on this earth,
Yep.
and there are or there's good things that God blesses you with, but I'm not even worried about the blessings. I'm more worried about his heart. I want to see who he
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, man, getting out of prison, bro, you're serving the Lord, or you know who Jesus is. What amazes me about you, bro, is you're able to open up your own business, man.
Yeah, it happened overnight though.
No, because I remember working with you,
Uh-huh.
and you're like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be here next year.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I'm gonna pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, I believe since just the sincerity, like
Mm-hmm.
your true repentance,
Mm-hmm.
and for what you've done in your past,
Mm-hmm.
the devil's gonna throw that, always gonna throw that in your past. But you use your past so that you can help somebody else,
Yeah.
and that's what I want everybody to know is that his story can help the next man or the next person who's watching online or like if God saved somebody like him and saved somebody like me, he can save somebody like you. And one of the biggest things that I really I want to like
If you don't mind, can I just interject when you said about
yeah
the business thing and
yeah
like so I've been in business 14 years now. But today a passage came across me, and I'm not ungrateful, bro. But you remember in Joshua when they were dividing the land and
yeah
everything, and Joseph's descendants came, and he goes, "Hey, bro, we feel like we should get just a little bit more."
mm,
Sometimes I got that feeling, Lord. Hey, I'm not ungrateful, but I think you got a little bit more for me. You
yes
got
yes
just a little bit more for me. I mean,
yes
according to your will, of course.
yes
So I'm never
yes
satisfied with what I got. You know what I mean?
yeah
But I'm. It's not that saying that I'm not grateful for. You know what I mean? I'm
what you
very
have.
grateful. Yeah, every day I wake up and thanks, and you know.
One of the biggest things is your freedom, right? I mean, people can be in prison in their mind, people can be in prison physically, right?
Hmm.
But I know you. I've met your wife and your kids before, and you got a good thing. And then, well, like I said, we can even do some spin-offs because you even had encounters with divorce,
Hmm.
like myself. My wife wanted to divorce me because she was tired of me doing what I was doing,
Hmm.
right? And I was telling her I was gonna change, and I was telling her I was gonna change, and I wanted to change, and this and that. And so, but I believe, bro, me sticking close to the Lord and the Word, His Word,
Hmm.
and learning, because I'm still learning. Just because I pastor a church doesn't mean that I stop growing.
Hmm.
I learn. I learned from you. I learned from other people. Sometimes I even learn from my own kids, bro.
Hmm.
And they teach me something that I don't have.
Of course.
And I love that. And so, what I want to do is kind of like we're gonna pause this moment for a minute,
Sure.
and then we're gonna come back because I definitely want you to come back and share more information. Is there any last words that you want to say to anybody out there that's watching?
No, I mean, when we get through off camera, I mean, there's some topics I want to talk to you about.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really tugging at me right now, and I've been doing a lot of soul searching and praying about it
amen.
to make sure that I'm not going against God's word. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
But no, as far as last words, I mean, I would just say, you know, whatever you're going through right now, no one's going to be there to help you except our one true God, the
yeah,
one true God. And like I said, he doesn't want to change your personality. He made you like that for a reason.
yeah.
And but you cannot be ashamed if of a pastor or someone that's walking with the Lord throws that sin in your face because you need that sin. You need to break down. You got to know that you're filthy rags compared to his righteousness.
Yes.
And when you finally ask for forgiveness, that clean slate, like I said, I don't even remember prison to be honest with you, man. I've been home for 20 years now. It's been 20 years in 2025. I've been free, and it doesn't cross my mind because I'm dealing with
Other
now.
things,
You
yeah.
know, I
Other,
don't live in the past and don't live in the future. I live in the now and what God wants me to do. I'm not the biggest evangelical, but the way you carry yourself, the way you, if people could see God's love on you, if you got fruit,
yes.
if
It'll
you got some
show.
fruit showing,
Yeah.
then you know you're on that vine, that you're connected to that vine, and you're part of
Yes.
that branch, and that's all that matters to me. You know what I mean?
Amen.
I
Amen.
know I'm never gonna be a Paul or a Peter. You know what I mean? World evangelical, but hey, man, if I could share the Lord with someone and save a couple souls, that's all that counts.
Amen. Amen. Well, God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Boom.
Is that good?
Yeah.